Question number 1.6 of exercise, page number 46. 4-point charge is QA is equal to 2 microcoulomb, QB is equal to minus 5 microcoulomb, QC is equal to 2 microcoulomb, and QD is equal to minus 5 microcoulomb located at the corners of a square of ABCD as shown in the figure. What is the force on a 1 coulomb charge placed at the center of the square? Who is the center of the square? So diagonal AC, according to Pythagoras theorem, AC square is equal to AD square plus DC square, that is 200. So AC is equal to square root of 200, that comes about 10 under root 2. So, but AO is equal to OC is equal to BO is equal to OD, and that is equal to half of this AC, that is 10 under root 2 divided by 2, that is AC by 2, that is 5 under root 2. Therefore, AO square is equal to OC square is equal to OB square is OD square is equal to square of this, that is 50. Now, let us calculate the force on 1 coulomb charge at O due to the charge 2 coulomb 1 microcoulomb charge at O due to the charge 2 microcoulomb at A is say FA. These are not 5 microcoulomb, all make the correction. The force on 1 microcoulomb charge at O due to the charge 2 microcoulomb at A is say FA. Then FA is equal to, according to Coulomb's law, K Q1 Q2 upon R, so that is K QA QO Q upon OA square. That is equal to K is equal to 9 into 10 to 9 Newton meter square coulomb minus 2, and charge Q is 2 microcoulomb, and at O, that is QO is 1 microcoulomb, that is 10 raised to minus 6 divided by AO square, that is AO square is 5 under root 2 square, that is 50. This comes about 3.6 into 10 raised to minus 4 Newton, and this is positive, this is also positive, so it is repulsive. FA is in this direction. This is FA along the AO or AO both. You can consider the whole line also. Similarly, the force on 1 microcoulomb charge due to the O to the charge 1 microcoulomb charge at O due to the charge 2 microcoulomb placed at C. Say it is FC, then FC is equal to also same, both charges are the same magnitude. So force is same, but it is along the OA, correct? OA. The forces FA and FE, FC, FA and FC. FA is along the OC and FC is along the OA. Both are equal in magnitude and opposite direction, they cancel. So net force is 0. Now, the force on 1 microcoulomb due to the minus at O due to the minus 5 microcoulomb charge placed at a point B, that is equal to say FV, then FV is equal to minus Q is the attractive, because this is positive, this is negative, the force is attractive. It will attract this will attract, both are attractive. So this is also attractive. So FV is equal to 9 into 10 raised to power 9 into 5 into 10 raised to minus 12 upon 50, and that comes about minus 9 into 10 raised to minus 4 Newton. Direction, 9 into 10 raised to minus 4 Newtons along direction OB. It is attractive, so along the OB. FB is along the OB. What is the magnitude? 9 into 10 raised to power minus 4 Newton. 9 into to the power 10 raised to minus 4 Newton. This one is 3.6 into 10 raised to power minus 4. This is also 3.6 10 to the power minus 4. Both the charges are same, so this force also is force on 1 microcoulomb charge placed at O due to the minus 5 microcoulomb charge placed at D. That is also the equal to the say Fd. Then Fd is equal to 9 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 Newton. But it is opposite direction, OD. So these are also equal in magnitude, opposite direction, though cancel. This also cancels. So net force at O is 0. So total force at O is Fa plus Fb plus Fc plus Fd is equal. Question 1.12 of exercise, page number 46 and 47. The question is like this: two insulated charged copper spheres A and B have their centers separated by a distance of 50 centimeters. What is the mutual force of electrostatic repulsive if the charge on each sphere is 6.5 into 10 raised to power minus 7 coulomb? The magnitude of two charges is the same, and that is 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 10 raised to power minus 7 coulomb. Say this is Q1, say this is QB. The force on B is FBA, and force on A, let us say force on A be the FAB. Repulsive force. So force will be repulsive along this line joining the center of two charges. Let us calculate what is the mutual force of repulsion. According to Coulomb's law, force between two charges given by the equation F is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon R square. R is the separation which is given 50 centimeters. Introduce the values of each. The K 9 into 10 raised to power 9, 6.5 into 6.5 into 10 raised to power minus 14 upon the 50 centimeter, that is 0.5 meters. The square of 0.5 meter is 25 into 10 raised to power, that 0.25 or 25 into 10 raised to power minus 2. The phi cut this 1.3, here also 1.3 will cut. So to simplify, you will get 15.21 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 3 Newton. Or you can write 1.5 approximately to the 10 raised to power minus 2 Newton. Now, if each charge is double and distance is half, charge is double, there is 2q1 and 2q2, distance is half. Charge becomes double, then force will become 4 times. If distance is half, again this force will become 4 times. So force will become 16 times. You can simplify this. That comes about 4kq square upon r square by 4. That is 16 kq square upon kq square upon r square. That is already we have calculated 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 2. So 16 multiplied by 1.5 into 10 to the power, that comes about 0.24 newtons. Thus, the force when charges are made, each charge is made double and distance is half, then force will become 16 times. Similarly, if each charge is made double and distance is also made double, then force will remain same. Or if each charge is made half and distance is also made half, then also it will remain the same. If each charge is made half, the force will be 1/4 and distance is also made half, so it will be 4 times, so that will cancel. But if one is increased and another is decreased, then it will make a difference. Correct? Understood? So both are made half, charges are increased and distance is decreased, then force will increase. But if distance is increased and charges are also increased in the same proportion, then no change. The principle of superposition of or forces between the multiple charges. If there are more than one charges, what is the net force on the charge? It states that the total force on a given charge due to a number of charges is the vector sum of individual forces acting on that charge due to the presence of other charges. Right? Here there are 3 charges, Q1, Q2 and Q3. We will calculate the force on Q1 due to the other charges than the Q2 and Q3. While considering the force between Q2 and Q1, the force due to Q3 is not considered. That is to be kept in mind. Consider the system of three charges Q1, Q2 and Q3 as shown in the figure. The total force on Q1 due to the charges Q2 and Q3 will be we will use Coulomb's law for calculation of total force on Q1 due to Q2 and Q3. Let us consider first the force on Q1 due to Q2. Say it is F12. If both are positive, it is a repulsive force as shown in the direction. Thus, F12 is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R12. This is the distance R12. R12 unit vector. This is a unit vector. And F13 is the force on Q1 due to Q3, that is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q3 upon R13 square into R13 unit vector. R13 is a unit vector. This also. The total force on Q1, that is vector sum of F12 and F13. F12 and F13 can be given by the equation F1 is equal to F12 plus F13, that is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 upon R12 square R12 unit vector plus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q3 upon R13 square R13 unit vector. Suppose we have n point charges. Instead of these two charges, there are n point charges. What is the force due to all n charges on the Q1? That could be given by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 bracket Q1 Q2 upon R12 square unit vector plus Q1 Q3 upon R13 square unit vector plus Q1 Q4 and so on. Q1 Qn upon R1 n square if there are n charges. The vector sum is obtained by the parallelogram law of vector addition. This is equal to Q1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 summation I is equal to 2 to I is equal to n Qi Ri R1 I square R1 I unit vector. Thus we can obtain the vector sum is obtained by the parallelogram law. Here you can use the law of parallelogram of vector addition. This F1 is the resultant of these two forces. Similarly, you can calculate the resultant of number of forces. Now, electric field or strength of an electric field, or it is also called the intensity of an electric field. Consider a charge, say at origin, Q charge at origin. Consider a point P in the space at a distance R. If we place another charge Q, according to Coulomb's law, this charge Q will experience due to the source charge Q placed at the origin. Now, question is that if we remove the Q, what is left? Is there nothing at P? Then why Q when placed experiences a force? There must be something. So we will define the electric field. This electric field is everywhere surrounding Q. So E at R position, see this point is P. Is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q upon R square. That is, the electric field of a charge is given by this equation. It depends only on the position vector R. Now, if we place the Q charge, it experiences a force, that is F is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 q upon r square r unit vector. This could be written as, this is E, so q E r. The force on a charge q at r is equal to electric field q times electric field, or q times electric field at r, at this point. The F force on a charge q is electric field times charge. The SI unit of E is Newton per Coulomb. Thus, electric field E can be defined as the force that a unit positive charge, if q is 1 unit, q is 1, then F will be equal to E. Therefore, electric field can be defined as the electric field E due to a charge q at a point in space is defined as the force that a unit positive charge would experience it if placed at that point. So, it is nothing else but force exercised by a unit positive charge placed at that point in an electric field of a source charge. The q charge is called the source charge and small q charge is called the test charge. There is a field, electric field, due to this charge. It is not seen, we can't see, but we can see its influence, its effect. When we place any other charge, it experiences a force. It shows that there is an electric field surrounding q. Now, if we say the electric field depends upon the R, or force also depends upon the R, as per Coulomb's law, it does not depend upon the any other factor. So, q also, source charge capital Q will exert force on q, and small charge also exert force on the capital Q. Then it will change the field of the q. Q will be displaced from its position. If it attacks, it will move. So, for this purpose, the q small should be very small to minimize the force exerted on it. To minimize the force F, to make it minimum, q should be made minimum. To make the force minimum, the test charge q should be made smallest. Thus, electric field of a source charge q at a point r, at a point p, distance r, can be given by the equation E is equal to limit q tends to 0 F by q. Note that q cannot be a 0, otherwise force will be 0. It hasn't got any use. So, but q should be minimum. So, test charge, while defining the electric field, test charge should be smallest. So, now the force F on q, it depends only on the r. The force here on the q, that depends on the r. If q is here, the force will be less. If q is further point, still force will be more or less, and so on. Similarly, E also will be less. So, E also is independent of q, but it depends only on the r, as force depends on r. Now, what is the nature of the electric field? For positive charge, the electric field lines will be directed radially outwards, as shown in the figure. For negative charge, the electric field vectors points radially inward. Correct? So, suppose we place the q charge, we want to calculate the field here. What is the electric field here? E1 here at the position, observation point say P, the distance r. R is the position vector of the P from the source charge Q. What is E? E1 is equal to KQ upon R square. KQ upon R square. Say this distance is R1. Field at another point, say E2. Say this vector R2. This is P1 and P2, call it, is equal to KQ upon R2. You can put unit vector R2, unit vector R1. Simply KQ upon R. Thus, if we place a charge Q at any point, say electric field at this point P is E. If this is positive charge, then electric field will be radially outward as shown in the figure, and its magnitude is KQ upon R, that is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, sorry, R square. R square. Now, if you place a charge Q where electric field is E at a point P, position vector R, the force experienced by it F is equal to EQ simply, that is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught QQ upon R square. So, you can calculate the force if you know the electric field at that point. This electric field varies as a square of the position vector, square of the position vector. Now, let us see the electric field due to a system of charges, that is superposition principle of electric field. Consider three charges Q1, Q2 and Q3. We want to calculate the electric field. The position vector of Q1 at P is R1P. Position vector of Q2 at P is R2P. Position vector of Q3 at P is R3P. We know that electric field is the force that produces a charge on a unit positive charge placed at this point P. These all are positive, Q1, Q2, Q3 are positive. Here also at P we have placed the unit positive charge. So, therefore, the electric field at P due to Q1 at R1 say E1, then E1 is equal to K Q1 upon R1P square, R1P unit vector, that is toward the R1P is direction. This is the magnitude 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 upon R1P square, the unit vector from Q1 to P. The direction is given by the unit vector, that is R1P is in this direction. So, this is the direction of E1, the electric field due to the Q1. The electric field due to the Q2 similarly can be given by the E2. E2 is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q2 upon R2P square, unit vector R2P, that is direction is R2, unit vector R2P, that is this direction. This is the direction of E2. Similarly, the electric field E3 is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q3 upon R3P square, unit vector R3P. This direction is as shown in the figure, correct. Now, net force, the resultant can be given by diagram. It is given the E1 and E2, resultant of E1 and E2 can be given by the parallelogram of vector addition, that is this E. This is that replaces E1 and E2. Next, the resultant of E and the E3, that is this and this, will be given by the parallelogram law of vector addition, that is E dash. E dash is the final resultant of all three diagrammatically. Mathematically, we can express as E is equal to E1 plus E2 plus E3 according to superposition principle. That is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 upon R1 P square, R1 P unit vector plus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 upon R2 P square unit vector R2 P plus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 R3 P square unit vector R3 P. Thus, total field E at the P, the total field E is given by, the total field is given by this equation. Now, if there are n charges, then electric field at P more than 3, there is n charges. When n is integer, there are n charges, then field is given by ER, that is field at a position at a point P is given by the superposition principle, that is summation of all fields due to all charges. 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 upon R1 P square R1 P unit vector plus this is the direction plus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 upon R2 P square unit vector R3 P plus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Qn upon Rn P square Rn P unit vector. That is equal to ER, total electric field, is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 I is equal to 1 to I is equal to n, that is n charge Qi upon Ri P square Ri P unit vector. See the example 1.8, page number 21. An electron falls through a distance of 1.5 centimeter in uniform electric field of magnitude 2 into 10 raised to power 4 Newton per Coulomb. The direction of the field is reversed, keeping its magnitude unchanged, and the proton falls through the same distance. Compute the time of fall in each case. Now, electric field is 2 into 10 raised to power 4 Newton per Coulomb. We know the electric field is from positive toward the negative. The electron will be attracted toward the positive, so it will fall down, neglecting the acceleration due to gravity. There is only force due to electric field. Now, electric field is from positive to negative, so electron will move from negative to positive, will be attracted towards the positive. So, force on electron is equal to E into electric field. The electric field is the force per unit charge. Electric field is the force per unit charge. Charge of an electron is E. So, what is the force? That is EQ. Q is E. So, it is EE. Now, suppose electron acts as the force, so it will be accelerated. It won't move with the constant velocity. So, acceleration is given by mass of electron me into acceleration of electron. Correct? Comparing these two, me AE is equal to EE. Therefore, acceleration is equal to EE upon m. Force upon mass, acceleration. Now it falls. Suppose initial velocity of the electron is 0. Final velocity is v. Then from the equation of motion we can see if it falls to a distance, say height h, this height is h. Then h is equal to ut plus half a acceleration electron t square or a t square. This is 0, initial velocity is 0. So, we get 2h upon a is equal to t square. So, time taken by the electron is equal to square root of 2h upon a. Put the value of a, acceleration due to electric force on the electron. This is electron's acceleration. That will be divided by this, that is square root of 2hm mass of the electron, that is me upon ee. So, mass is of the electron is less, so time will be less. Let us call this time as it Te for electron. Similarly, time for the proton. The charge on the plate is reverse. Electric field is reverse. That is negatively charged plate becomes positively charged plate, and positively charged plate becomes negatively charged plate. And proton is allowed to fall. Proton, that is plus E. Proton being positively charged particle, it will repel. It will move towards the negatively charged particle. So same way, T for proton, sorry, this is T for electron. So T for proton we can write as a under root 2, distance is same, electric field strength is same, MP upon EE. So time for proton if you calculate will be, others all are constant same. This 2H upon EE, that is constant for both. So time electron is directly proportional, or time for the particle is directly proportional to mass. So we can compare the time also. T proton upon T electron is equal to under root m proton upon m electron. You can put the data and calculate this. What is the mass of electron? That is H is equal to 1.5 centimeter, that is into 10 raised to minus 2 meters. Electronic charge, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. Electric field is already given, 2 into 10 to the 10 raised to power 4 Newton per coulomb. Correct? So time could be computed, or you can compare. You can calculate the time as well as you can compare the time. Naturally, the mass of proton is much greater than the mass of electron. So Tp will be greater than Te. Right? Next example, example 1.9 on page number 22. 2-point charges Q1 and Q2 of magnitude plus 10 raised to power minus 8 coulomb and minus 10 to the power minus 8 coulomb respectively are placed 0.1 meter apart. Calculate the electric field at point A, B and C as shown in the figure. We have to calculate the electric field at A, B and C due to the charges Q1 and Q2. Now electric field, say E1A, due to the charge Q1 at A. What is the electric field? This is positive charge, so electric field will be along the direction as shown in the figure, that is right, towards the right. Correct? Say it is E1A, this is E1 A, and E1A is equal to K Q1 upon R square. K, you know, 9 into 10 raised to power 9 into charge of coulomb Q1, that is 10 raised to charge Q1. What is the magnitude? 10 to the power minus 8 coulomb. What is the separation? This distance is 0.05 meter. R is 0.05, so R square. That comes about 3.6 into 10 to the power 4 Newton per coulomb. Now, force electric field at A due to the charge minus Q. This is minus Q, remember, and this is electric field is measured by the unit positive charge. So, unit positive charge is placed at A, that will be attracted. So, electric field due to the Q2 will be also toward the right. This is the same direction E2 A also. Total field is the sum of two, both are in same direction, they will be added. So EA, electric field at A due to the charge Q1 and Q2 will be the vector sum of these two, and both vectors are in the same direction, they will be added up. EA is equal to E1A plus E2A, that is equal to 3.6 into 10 raised to power 4 plus 3.6 into power 10 raised to power 4, that comes about double, that is 7.2 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 Newton per coulomb. What is the unit of electric field? Newton per coulomb, remember it. Now let us calculate the field at B. Field at B due to the Q1 is E1B, that is equal to, what is this? Same, distance is the same, charge is the same, K you know, K Q1 upon R1 square, the same 3.6 to the 10 to the power 4 Newton per Coulomb. And what is the direction? This is plus, and if we place the unit positive charge here, it will repel. So this is the direction of E1B. What is this? E1B. Now what is the field due to the minus charge Q2? That is, the only difference is in the distance. Distance is 3 times 0.05 plus 0.05 plus 0.95 kq upon r square, same formula. Q2 E2B is equal to 9 into 10 is to 9 into multiplied by 10 to the power minus 8 Coulomb upon 0.15. Now you see, this is 3 times distance. So force will be 1/9. Force will be 1/9. Others are the same. So 1/9 of this, even if you divide this, 3.6 multiplied by 10 raised to power 4 upon 9, you will come 4, that is 0.4 to the power 10 raised to power 4. Can you write 4 to the 10 raised to power 3? Can you write this way? Correct? So it is 4 10 to the power 3, or you can write 0.4 10 raised to power 4. Now what is the direction? This is negative, so direction will be unit positive charge will attract. This is the F E2B. E2, it is less, so we will show with a smaller arrow. Electric field is shown by the length of arrow also. This is less, 1/9. You can still show the smaller. So what is the net field? Net field will be E1B minus E2B, and towards the left, in the direction of the larger field. So EB, electric field at B due to both the charges, is E1B minus E2B, that is this minus this. 3.6 minus 0.4, that is 3.2. 3.6 minus 0.4, what is this? 3.2 to the power 10 raised to 4 Newton per Coulomb. Correct? Now electric field at C due to the charge Q1 and Q2, E1C, both are same, distances are the same. Distances are the same. This is 0.1 meter, and this is also 0.1 meter. Distances are the same, so forces will be also same in magnitude, different in only direction. So E1C is equal to E2C, and that is equal to KQ upon R square. Now what is the field due to the plus Q1? That is repulsive force in this direction. This is E1C, and this will be attractive. This will be attractive. This is the direction of E2C. Let us resolve this into two perpendicular components. This angle is theta, this is cos theta, EC cos theta, this is EC sin theta. Let us resolve this E2 also, E2C in also two components mutually perpendicular. This is this is E1C, E1C cos theta, E1C sin theta. This is E2C cos theta, and this is perpendicular component. This is 90 degree. This is E2C sin theta. These are equal in magnitude and opposite direction, they will cancel. So these are to be calculated. So E1C to E2C, that is equal to, what is that? You calculate 9 into 10 to 9 into 10 raised to power 9 to this. Resultant is cos theta, that is cos 60 plus E2 cos 60, that is 9 into 10 raised to power minus 8 into barabar cos 60 is half, and this is also half. Barabar? So that will make total 1. Or you can calculate by law of parallel of vector addition. What is the angle between these two? If you do not want to use this one. What is the angle between 220 degree? So when angle between two forces is 120 and magnitude of which force is also same, then resultant will be the either of force. Or you can calculate EC is equal to square root of E1C square plus E2C square plus 2 E1C E2C cos 120. So E1C is equal to E2C also. So E1C square plus E1C square, instead of 2C we write E1 square, E1C square plus 2 E1C square barabar E1C, and this is also E1C. So square 2 E1C square, and cos 120 is equal to minus half. So minus half 2 to cancel, correct. So minus E1C square. So E1C square plus E1C square, 2 E1C square minus E1C square, that is equal to E1C square. So EC is equal to E1C, either of the force, correct, and that has same magnitude.